Hey everyone, welcome back to the RDX Motors channel. Today, we've got something exciting on our hands at the 2026 Honda Civic. Now, the Civic's been a favorite in the compact car segment for decades, but the 2026 model takes it to a whole new level. Honda's made some subtle yet significant upgrades this year, blending sporty aesthetics, modern tech, and the same reliability we've come to expect. If you're thinking about picking up a new daily driver, or even your first car, this one's definitely worth checking out. So, we spent a good amount of time with the Civic to get to know every inch of it. And honestly, it's impressive how far this car has come from its econo-bucks roots. Let's kick things off with the design. This year, the Civic keeps its clean, understated style, but with sharper lines and a slightly more aggressive stance. From the front, you'll immediately notice the new headlight designated slimmer LED clusters that give it a more premium look. The grille's been reworked too. It's not overly flashy, but it's definitely got that quiet confidence. Honda's also added a more sculpted hood, which gives the Civic a bit more muscle up front without going over the top. Exterior moving to the side. This is where you really appreciate the car's proportions. It's longer and a bit lower than some of its competitors, which helps it sit closer to the ground, giving off a sportier vibe. The character lines running from the front fender all the way to the rear taillights are clean and well placed. It adds that sense of motion, even when the car is parked. Depending on the trim, you're looking at either 16-inch wheels on the base model or 18-inch alloys on the Sport and Touring versions. And they look great. Honda really nailed the wheel designs this year, especially the blacked-out options. Swinging around to the back, the design is pretty cohesive with the rest of the car. The taillights are now connected by a thin, body-colored trim piece, which makes the rear feel wider and more planted. There's also a subtle lip spoiler integrated into the trunk lid, and not too flashy, just the right amount of flair. And for the Sport and Touring trims, you get exposed exhaust tips, which give it a bit of an edge. It's not trying to be a performance car, but it definitely doesn't feel like a bland commuter either. Interior. Stepping inside the 2026 Civic is where things start to really shine. Honda's been focusing on making their interiors more upscale, and you can feel that as soon as you get behind the wheel. The dashboard layout is super clean. There's this honeycomb-style mesh that hides the air vents, and it looks sharp while also serving a functional purpose. Materials feel soft to the touch in all the right places on the dash, armrests, and even parts of the door panels. It's definitely a step up from the previous generation. The infotainment system is intuitive and responsive. You get a 7-inch touchscreen on the lower trims, but if you go for the XL or Touring, you are getting a 9-inch display with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The digital instrument cluster is crisp and customizable. It's not cluttered and gives you just the right amount of information at a glance. Climate controls are thankfully physical knobs, easy to use and much better than having to dig through menus. In terms of space, the Civic continues to be one of the most spacious compact sedans in its class. There's plenty of legroom for both front and rear passengers, and the seats offer solid support for longer drives. Rear headroom is decent too, even for taller adults. Trunk space is generous as well. You're looking at about 14.8 cubic feet, which is more than enough for weekend trips or a big grocery haul. Honda's also improved sound insulation, so the cabin stays fairly quiet even at highway speeds. Performance. Under the hood, the 2026 Civic comes with two engine options, depending on the trim. The base models come with a naturally aspirated 2.0-liter 4-cylinder engine making around 158 horsepower. It's not going to blow you away, but it's smooth, efficient, and gets the job done for daily commuting. The X and Touring trims get the 1.5-liter turbocharged inline-4 pushing out about 180 horsepower, and this one feels noticeably punchier. It's got solid mid-range torque, making merging onto highways and passing slower traffic way easier. Both engines are mated to a CVT, which Honda has really refined over the years. It simulates gear changes fairly well and doesn't feel overly drony like some of the early CVTs. The steering is sharp and well-weighted, and the suspension strikes a good balance between comfort and sportiness. The ride is composed and smooth, even over rougher pavement. It's not trying to be a sports sedan, but it's got just enough responsiveness to make it fun to drive. If you're after fuel economy, the Civic delivers there too. The base 2.0-liter engine gets around 31 miles per gallon in the city and up to 40 on the highway, depending on how you drive. The turbocharged version is slightly more efficient on the highway, thanks to its lower RPMs at cruising speeds. All in all, the Civic remains one of the most fuel-efficient non-hybrids in its class. As for pricing, Honda has kept things competitive. The base LX trim starts around $25,000, which is pretty solid considering the features you get. The mid-level Sport trim comes in at about $26,500, and you start to see some nice additions like the larger wheels, leather-wrapped steering wheel, and sportier styling cues. The X and XL trims, which add the turbo engine and more premium features, hover around the $28,000 mark. If you want the fully loaded touring model with all the bells and whistles, think premium audio, wireless phone charging, leather upholstery, you're looking at closer to $30,500. Not bad at all for what you're getting. So, wrapping this up, after spending time with the 2026 Honda Civic, it's clear that Honda isn't just coasting on the model's legacy. They've taken what people already loved about the Civic, its reliability, efficiency, and value, and layered on more refinement, better tech, and a more upscale feel without losing its accessible price point. Whether you're a new driver, someone looking for a dependable commuter, or just want something that's fun and practical without breaking the bank, the Civic continues to hit its sweet spot. Let us know what you think about the new Civic in the comments. Are you into the updated styling? Does the turbo engine make enough of a difference for you? And if you're cross-shopping this with something like a Corolla, Mazda 3, or Elantra, we'd love to hear how they stack up for you. If you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of our future reviews. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.